Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, welcome, madam. Sorry for the mix-up. I realized late that the link that Tenny initially shared was a bit problematic. So we'll just wait for her and the other guests to join in, then we can start.
All right then. Thank
All right.
you.
Welcome, ma'am. Good evening, Mr. Akintunde. Welcome. So we'll just wait for Tenny to join, then we can start the call. Thank you so much for obliging.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Hmm. Thinking ahead, what structural shift?
Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you
Me,
can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, welcome, Mr. Dapo Akintunde. Welcome here. I guess we also have here our guest for today. This is Discover 2024, the September edition, and I have the privilege of co-hosting this edition. And we have here our guests, guests, and they are not really guests per se, they are members of our experts council. We have the honor of having this Q&A session with Mr. Dapo Akintunde and Dr. Eyitemi Adegboye. Welcome, welcome. And I have here our head of media and public relations. She's not that person, but Mrs. Omotayo Okenwumi. Thank you all so much for making this time out. We would proceed directly into this edition now. Omotayo, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, Tenny. And good evening, Dr. Adegboye and Mr. Akintunde. It's a pleasure having you on this call. We sincerely apologize for the delay. We didn't intend to keep you on duty. But we'll try as much as possible to maximize time so that we can wrap this up within the hour and that we can move on with the rest of our day. I don't know if you don't mind, could you kindly turn on your videos as this will be recorded and uploaded on the YouTube channel? Thank you so much. Now I can see the beautiful face behind the camera. Good evening, Dr. Fashanu.
I need to say a special good evening to Tenny. Hello, Tenny. And a more special good evening to Mr. Dapo, because we've not spoken in a while. And I respect him so much. And I'm excited.
Oh man, it's so good to see your very beautiful face. Eh? The missus. We are so honored. Oh my goodness.
Thank you
Okay,
for having
yeah, thank you. Pardon me, I might not be able to turn on my video. I'm having a little bit, I don't know, my background, I don't know, there's a little challenge here. But please, at some point I might eventually turn it on. Yes, but please go ahead, regardless. So over to you, Omotayo. I don't know, is it
Yeah,
time
I'm
for me?
actually waiting for Mr. Dakwakitunde to turn on his video.
Okay.
Mr. Akintunde, are you comfortable turning it on, or we should just go on with just audio? Kindly confirm. And if in case you are talking, you are muted. So that's okay. Great. All right. You are still muted.
Is it okay now?
Oh, great. It's okay. Okay. It's a pleasure seeing your face. And from what I hear, Dr. Fashanu Adegboye and Tennessee, you are a veteran and you are highly respected. And so I must say it's an honor having you on this call and having excellent minds on this conversation that speaks to go green, environmental impact by design. So I just want to believe, or let me just say, I don't want to assume, as Tenny shared the questions with you earlier, just to be sure that we are familiar with the terrain that we are speaking to.
I
But of
just
course,
had a look at the questions. Though.
Oh, you've not had a look at the question, but your
I have.
profile, you have.
I just had a look at them.
Okay, okay. All right. So, but I'm sure that you are in safe hands because your profile gives it that you're a veteran when it comes to environmental matters and architectural building and the rest. So we should be able to land safely.
Like for long.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. So the way the conversation will go, I will just throw in questions so that both parties will have an opportunity to respond to the question and not just focusing on one person, but we'll have a mix and let's see how that goes. All right. So for editing purpose, this is how we start officially. So I'd like to say a very good day to all of our audience participants who have joined us from far and near to be a part of this amazing conversation on the regular TLS broadcast. And we're committed to educating and enlightening our audience. And we believe that this particular engagement will certainly keep you informed and a lot enlightened, particularly because of the quality of the speakers and guests we have for today. Um, just to recap and to speak to the theme, which says that we're looking at Go Green Environmental Impact by Design. And we'll be engaging our guests with a couple of questions. One of our guests is an energy economist. She's clearly experienced and versatile when it comes to when it comes to energy and of course the environment by extension, and she's actually big on sustainability. And so it would be nice to hear what a side view on the subject matter is. And of course, our second guest speaker is a designer, an architect, and a vehicle design strategist, no other person than Dapo Paul, but is popularly known as Dapo Akintunde. It's a pleasure having you, sir and ma'am, on today's conversation. Thank you so very much for joining us. So we'll just dig right into the questions, and we hope that all of our audience and everyone who is watching us gets value from the conversation we're having today. And Tani, feel free to also throw in some follow-up questions if you see the need to do while we engage our guests. Thank you. So we'll start with the first question, which speaks to policy and governance, and I'll be throwing that to Dr. Fashanu Adegboye. You know, it's always ladies first, but some people will say ladies first after men.
No.
But this time
Doctor,
around, we will stick to ladies first. So the question speaks to, from a policy and systems perspective, how can design thinking be integrated into environmental governance and decision making?
I would my husband usually laughs at me because when I'm asked the question, I'm tempted to say, thank you very much for that question. Okay, design thing. I honestly think this question should have gone to my senior first, because design thinking is more than a buzzword for him. It is what he does every day and what he has been doing every day for decades. So I will just start because my senior is coming out. He is greater than me, is coming. So policy, design thinking, and governance. So because of my background as an economist, I tend to look at policy most of the time from the standpoint of the government. While the government is not the only actor or player in our country or in our space that gets to make policies, I mean, companies make policies as well. Even fathers make policies in their homes, right? So policies can come up at whatever level, but as an economist, I'm usually more inclined to look at policy from the government's point of view, because I really believe that the government always has a huge role to play in creating an enabling environment for businesses and individuals to thrive, you know, as they pursue their dreams and ambitions. And one of the major ways the government creates an enabling environment is through the vehicle of policies. So when we are talking about environmental governance, what we are really trying to say is, how do we put structure and systems around how we use resources, how we generate resources, how we consume resources? Because think about it this way, we are only 5 in a house and there are 5 pieces of meat in the stew. And there's one human being in the house that, if not regulated or checked, we eat all the 5 pieces of meat that 5 people are supposed to eat. The person will finish the food everybody is supposed to eat, but with a level of structure in place, we will find a way to make sure that that person is not eating the food that 5 people are supposed to eat, because the food is for everybody. So think about resources as they are scarce. Resources are finite, as we will say in Econ. We're always trying to look for ways to ensure that we don't use resources in a way that others would be stranded or others would become disadvantaged. Others being the immediate others around us now and future generations to come. So I need to backtrack a bit now to see that sustainability as a concept in itself considers 3 generations. It considers past, it considers present, and it considers future generations. The past generation, they have used resources in the drive to achieve their own ambitions and goals and dreams and all of that. And when I say resources, I mean environmental resources, resources you can see around you: water, sunlight, all the natural resources, crude oil, whatever natural resource you can think about. And now the present generation is here, also making use of these resources to pursue goals, dreams, and ambitions. What will the coming generations have left by the time we are too old to use these resources, right? That's where the sustainability conversation comes in the first place. So there's a way governments can put systems and structures in place through the instrument of policies to ensure that we are all using resources, like I would say jokingly, with the fear of God. Have mercy on people that are still coming. Have mercy on people that have not eaten, right? Have mercy on people that are still not able to find a way around using these resources to their advantage yet. So that's the summarized way I can put an answer to that question. I will now leave the floor humbly.
Thank you so much. And you know, if we go the scripture balance, if John the Baptist, the forerunner, had given this succinct definition, what will the
What
Messiah
would
now
Jesus come
do?
and say? You
What will
understand?
Jesus come and say? So we'll yield the ground to Mr. Akintunde to just chip in from a point of view of experience, what he thinks. And in responding to that first question, sir, you could also speak to how social systems and communities, that is, what role does design play in shaping sustainable behaviors and cultural mindset towards going green? So you could just touch on the first question, but major on this second part, which I just mentioned, that has to do with the role of design in shaping sustainable behaviors. Thank you, sir.
Say that again. The role of design in
That is
shaping
That is in building social systems and communities. In building social system and communities, what role does design play in shaping sustainable behaviors and cultural mindset towards going green?
okay towards going green. So this question you asked there is not a complex question. Further to what my bro, and I first ask her, Dr. Alex Nko, where
He's
is
fine,
he?
sir. He's very well. Thank you, sir.
We have to see him, because
We
we
have to
don't see
see.
him one by one. So that question is a good question, but like I have a good idea for it. You see, what I've discovered about the ecosystem here is that we often say that we want the government to create an enabling environment. But I've often told people that, that's asking for a lot. Because this government, the whole culture and system here doesn't really understand what kind of policies they will have to design for a big nation like this. What do I mean by that? So, a long time ago, it occurred to me that like the people that have been ruling this country have been soldiers and lawyers and accountants. Lawyers, accountants, and soldiers are not people that create things. Do you understand? To do anything, these people need to spend money. They are not people that are trained to create things out of sand and air. Do you understand what I'm saying? I remember that if you have a lot of money and you don't know what to do with it, it's like having no money at all. The guy that has less money, that knows exactly what to aim for with the money, will get a lot more done. That's England, for example. England is not a rich country, Abi. The French are not rich people, Abi, but they know exactly what to do with uranium. That a Niger Republic is full of uranium, but don't know what to do with it, Abi. Do you understand? So when you now say that, and I'm going somewhere with this, when you now say that the government should create an enabling environment, there was this other guy on YouTube the other day that was saying that Africans should know what to do with their natural resources. And was talking about this young Captain Traore, about the natural resources and knowing what to do with it. And I told the guy the same thing. I wrote it. I said, see, you're looking for people like Tinubu to know what to do with natural resources. After you know what to do with natural resources, Tinubu can do the accounting of how to look after the money you get. Do you understand? But think about the fact that Traore had a degree in geology before he went to the army. So he knows exactly where the natural resources are and exactly what to do with them. Are you getting my drift? And if he needs to get a workforce, he will know the guys. Tinubu can't. They will be talking to Traore first, Abi. So where am I going with all this? I'm saying that to actually get that enabling environment, you have to talk to the people that know what to do with the objects that will grow that economy. I've always told everybody that if I was president of this country, the first thing I would do, which Awolowo did, is to get workshops all over the place. So that as soon as I'm getting into power, I'm getting people, you be making this, you be making that. Do you understand what I'm saying? What these people make, you be selling. And that is the enabling environment you are looking for. The fact that you are looking for money to borrow so that Wike can be stealing it, so that somebody else can be somebody else can be aiming to steal it after he has left. Do you understand? We're back on that hamster wheel again. Please edit the guy's name out. Oh. I'm not a lawyer. Oh. Do you get my point? But you get the general gist of what I'm saying. See, look at China, for example. We'll talk about China. You know, people say, lawyers and people like that say that you have to get the system first, before you can get the society. And I say that that's not right. You have to know what to aim for first. When you know what to aim for as an object-oriented solution, then you can get your system around that. Like, for example, if you want to make shovels because you want agriculture, you can get a team. Then you will know how many shovels you need to make for what kind of yield. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is just an example. I'm not saying we're all going to be making shovels, for example. Do you understand? This is a country that has resources that we have enough sunlight to sell to the rest of the world, but we are not selling sunlight. Do you understand what I'm saying? Remember, we sold palm oil then that they renamed a port in England Port Sunlight because of the oil we sold. Do you understand what I'm saying? As people know, I can go on forever, but have I made my point that it has to be object driven?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
it's time to let somebody else talk.
You have clearly made your point, and sincerely, your analogy just brought the message down home, and it made it a lot more granular for even a layman to understand what you're speaking to. All right, so let's move over to Dr. Fashanu Adegboye, and I'd just like for you to, clearly from your experience point of view, and given the works you've done over the years, how can impact leaders and change makers leverage design as a tool to influence industries and shift public consciousness towards sustainability?
Okay. So at my workplace, there was a project we did just 2 weeks ago. We completed the project. Very simple project. I work for somebody that is an elder statesman, so he has been a special economic advisor to a sitting president before, and he's an economist. So that being said, you might be able to guess who the person is by the time you do your research, but I will not mention his name for now. So the Foursquare Church, they had their annual convention. That was 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week. The whole of last week, they had their annual convention. And part of their convention proceedings, part of the program of their convention proceedings is that they have an annual public lecture every year where they invite an elder statesman, somebody that's been in government, somebody that has, done some very important work that is globally recognized to come and give the lecture for the year. So my boss was the one to give the lecture for this year. And so I had to lead the team that did the research to come up with his lecture and to flesh out all the thoughts that he had. And while we were doing the lecture, I stumbled on something that just really buttresses what Mr. Dapo has been saying since. And just follow me because it would soon tie very nicely to answer the question that you asked. I discovered that China experienced something called a century of humiliation. So for 100 years, thereabouts, don't need to describe it, they were humiliated as a country. A lot of them were killed. They were resource trapped. And countries in the West took advantage of their disadvantage to turn some of them into slaves, you know, and then because of their disadvantaged position, they were also forced to sign some agreements that were not favorable to their economy, but just because we need to survive and float, they had to agree to some terms and conditions that the international community gave them.
Sorry, is it me? Is it my network or Dr. Adegboye is breaking? Hello?
I think Dr.
Oh, can you hear me?
Adegboye has gone.
Yes,
Okay.
but she's
I can see you and I
We can
can.
see
Oh,
your video is static, but we can hear your voice on the background.
but is my voice clear, or is it just my video that is static?
Your video
Your
is static, but your voice is clear.
Okay. Well, I hope the network gets better, but
Hello, ma'am. Okay, maybe you can turn off your video.
it's
Maybe okay.
better.
It's better now. It's better now.
All right, thank you. So I was saying that China was in a disadvantaged position because of that century of humiliation that they went through. You can go ahead to read about it. You'll find some very interesting things. So some of their leaders went on a retreat, locked themselves in a room, and told themselves, you know what, this must never happen to us again. It must not happen to us again. There was that resolve. And so they came up with what they called some irreducible minimums that every Chinese leader should be held accountable to say in your administration, even if you cannot achieve all these things, or if you cannot achieve a lot of things, you see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, you must always leave office making sure that you achieved those things. And so when they arrived at those irreducible minimums around education and technology and a couple of other things, then they started to reach out to technocrats and the elites, the people that still had some access to resources, whether financial resources or the technical know-how, just as Mr. Dapo was talking about, to say there are people that have a particular skill set because of their training. So they reached out to these technocrats. These technocrats, they had, I wouldn't call it a political party, but they had a group. So you could easily reach the technocrats in the states once you could get across to that group. So they reached out to the technocrats and the elites to sell this vision of irreducible minimums to them. Because these are the people that own resources, they own the capacity to do business, to design systems, and to employ a huge percentage, yes, of the poor people of China. And one of the things that these irreducible minimums birthed was what I would call the Chinese dream. The same way there's an American dream, the irreducible minimums sort of became the Chinese dream. And because of that vow, because there's no other word to call it, for lack of a better word, it was a vow that the leadership made, leadership not just being government now, but also being the technocrats and the elites. Because of the vow they made, China decided, since we don't want to be treated like this again, we want to have a say, a very intense say in what goes on in the world. And we will do that through exports. We will export, we will go on an aggressive export program. But we will not just export random things. We will not come and be exporting things that are not value added. We will export technology. So that overhead or overarching vision started to trickle down even into how they designed their educational curriculum. So you would find that even in the classrooms, Chinese children are taught about how to build stuff. It did not start today. It started because after their century of humiliation, some people said never again. I don't even need to complete the story for you to know that they did not just have vision, they put the vision to work, because out of the four of us on this call now, everybody has something Chinese in their house. Something tech related that is Chinese, whether it's a phone or a laptop or AirPods or something. There's definitely something that you have. So to your question, what's the Nigerian dream really? What are the irreducible minimums that we have all gathered together to say this nonsense, this humiliation that we have normalized needs to stop happening? And to make sure this happens, we are positioning to be seen like this in the global community. And to be seen that way in the global community, this is how we will revolutionize our education, our health system, our trading systems, even the structure of our economy. If you check the data, the structure of the Nigerian economy will tell you that the agric sector is still responsible for bearing most of the weight of the economy, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but is a bad thing when your manufacturing capacity is weak, because your agric sector is producing resources that you can add value to through the manufacturing sector, so that you are selling stuff that is high quality, that is premium, that can be preserved, that can compete on global stages and all of that. But it really starts from what's dream. If you walk up to the average Nigerian now, what would they tell you the Nigerian dream is? For many people, their Nigerian dreams that they want to steal, when they just get into that space, they are ready to eat everything that has been sitting down there. Because to me, the sustainability conversation is not first of all about resources. It's first of all about what the collective vision is. When we have a collective vision, then, like Mr. Dapo said, we will now be targeted on how we want to use the resources. We won't be clueless on how resources should be deployed. That's when sustainability starts to make sense. If there is no unification, it becomes very difficult
Amazing.
to make impact on that kind of level. So that's what I think about your question.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ma. And one thing I can say, looking at the trend of how you and Mr. Dapo are responding to question, is that you are very granular in your explanation, and it makes it a whole lot more relatable. And I want to believe that for everyone who is listening to this conversation, this message will actually struck a chord in you to actually start thinking. And I'll just use your word. What is your Nigerian dream? So we have different dreams as Nigerians, but we should come to a point where we have one single dream that will trickle down into everything that we do as a citizen of this great nation, Nigeria. And I also would like to say that it's also very interesting to know that outside the shores of this country, a lot of, especially in the continent of Africa, you see, and they say that Nigerians, oh, you're very rich. Nigerians have plenty money. That is the notion they have of the nation. But come down to Nigeria, you see that even the money we have is not really working for us. Most recently, the flood in Lekki, those on the island. In fact, I do not envy them at all. And you're wondering, for those who live in that place, they spent millions to live on that side, and they are experiencing this. But it is what it is until we have our Nigerian dream. So let me just allow Mr. Akintunde to speak. And for me, I'd like for him to speak to how public and private partnerships, fueled by intentional design, accelerate transitions to sustainable cities, industries, and lifestyle. You have the floor, Mr. Akintunde.
Could you repeat that question, please?
All right. So the question to you is,
Uh-huh.
for you, is to tell us how public, public-private partnerships, fueled by intentional design, accelerates transitions to sustainable cities, industries, and lifestyles?
Okay, so you see, public and private partnerships, once again, we go back to the object. Like Dr. Eyitemi was saying, this thing is simply about what are we good, what do we want to achieve, and how do we achieve that? And we shouldn't think about it. A country of 250 million estimated people cannot think about the money they will spend, because see, this thing is very simple. If each of them put down just 1,000 naira, multiply 250 million by 1,000, that's the capital in monetary terms. Do you understand? So it has to be more than money. Otherwise, you will continue to get 150 odd million people. That's 10 times, 10 and a half times the size of the Netherlands, that have no work and are multidimensionally poor. So if you say, for example, that you want to address what Dr. Eyitemi has just said, as a private and public partnership, listen, address the fact that we have a burgeoning agricultural sector, but we don't have the manufacturing to turn agricultural products into more useful things, export things, whatever. Yeah. Once again, I'm going to segue back to what she said about China. After they made those decisions, they said, okay, we want to do manufacturing, we want to do exports, we want to export tech, which whatever. Do you know that after Chairman Mao, listen to me carefully, this is public-private partnerships. After Chairman Mao, every other Chinese leader in a very terrible system, terrible government system, communist system, not democratic, was what? An engineer. How about that? Not be engineer, they make something, they do manufacturing. Do you understand? When we did our car prototype, the next stage is to give it to engineers to engineer it. Abi? They are the ones that are going to make the machines, to make the design that we did. Abi? So public, and this is what Dr. Eyitemi said, that, see, when I go to school and I talk about design, you know what they all tell me? But what you might change in Do you understand what I'm saying? This guy, don't let this guy here. He's going to how we are, he's going to change how we are doing things. Do you get my point? Because I'm going to now be saying that you have all these doctor something here. Doctor in this place, you have doctor of engineering, doctor of clinical, and you are collecting salary. How can you be collecting salary? You'll be making things now, have you? In all the universities abroad, isn't it when all the people, when they retire, they go on into the board of one company and be telling them what to do, have you? Not be so. When I'm doctor of mechanical engineering, what is a doctor of mechanical engineering? Isn't he a doctor of making something? Not be so.
Yeah.
Doctor of economics, not be doctor of selling something with that. Abi, not be so. So have I answered the question once again, or should I go on?
Yes, you have. You have in your usual way, which is very, very, very profound. So thank you so much. So we're winding down the interview. I just have one questions for both of you. Then we'll call it a day. And the next question Dr. Eyitemi would answer has to do with what ethical responsibilities do you think leaders should carry to ensure that design decisions today do not compromise the well-being of future generations? And this question is apt for you because of your initial analogy of having 5 pieces of meat and one individual want to eat it without considering those that are coming behind. So over to you on ethical responsibilities that leaders should carry to ensure that design decisions today do not compromise the well-being of future generations.
This question. When I saw this question, I was like, Temi just sent us exam question. But no problem.
Oh
So
goodness. You are captain.
sorry?
I say you both are capable.
Lágbára Ọlọ́run, as Mr. Dapo say. Okay. So that word ethical, honestly, is not easy to measure. In itself, ethics or ethical means that we follow a certain predetermined, prescribed pattern to achieve certain objectives. Whatever those patterns are going to be different across board depending on the organization, depending on the objective, depending on the resources available, depending on the people that we are trying to serve. And I will give you a very good example that I heard from, I think it was Mrs. Debola Dejikurumi. I heard this example from that made me start to rethink how I view ethics and how ethics are not one size fits all. So there was a community, very rural community, more or less a village, a big village. And this politician wanted to run for office, so he wanted to be able to get people from that village to vote for him. So he told his campaign team to go ahead of him into that village. They should not even announce that he's coming. They should just go, look around, see what the villagers are lacking that is so important. Then come back and give him some feedback to say, oh, these are projects that we believe that with your campaign speech, you can make promises to the community that, oh, we noticed you don't have this. I promise you, if you vote for me, I will do this, I will do that. So it didn't take long for the campaign team to realize that, oh, these people, they don't have a borehole system. They don't have access to quick water supply. So they had to go as far as the next village that had a stream to fetch water, bring it back. So it was just easy peasy to think about that, oh, let's give them pipe-borne water or borehole water or something. So they decide that that's what they will do. So this politician comes back to the village with his campaign team, and they go to visit the village head first to pay respect, to say, oh, we want to say hello. Also, by the way, we want to run for office and we want to put a borehole in place for your people. And the village head just looks at this politician and says, if I were you, I will not do that. And the man did not understand, like, what's the big deal in providing pipe-borne water for people that need water, that are trekking miles to go and fetch this water? And the village head told him, don't try it, oh. You see these people, they like it the way it is now, because you see that period where parents send their children to go and fetch water. That's when husbands and wives spend time together in their intimate conversations without disruptions from all the young people and all the children, because pretty much the whole day the children are around, except at that time. The children also enjoy that they are gisting with their friends and just playing on the road. It favors everybody. It's a win-win situation. So if you come and try and be the hero that you think they are complaining, they don't have water, and you go and bring borehole, anything that happens to your workers, just take it like that. Anything that happens to them, they are going to get violent on you. And that story is jokingly, seriously a real story. It happened. And it was at that point I realized that you can't assume what people want looking from the outside in. And so to me, ethics means that you really consider the needs of all the parties involved and get everybody to a consensus that can work before we start to implement any change or drive any impact or carry out any project. Because you'll be surprised that you think you're trying to help somebody in your own way, with your own understanding, and they just hate you for it. And you're wondering, but after everything I did for you, I was just trying to help you. And the person tells you, did I tell you to help me? So before we even put any system and structure in place across board, whether at government level or at corporate level, what are we trying to achieve? Who are all the people involved? What do we all want? What we all want to determine what the ethics that we will lay down will be. So that's my answer to that question.
Thank you so much. And while you were talking, the Gen Z balance just came to mind. It says, who you help.
Who you
That is.
help?
So you think you are doing a favor, but in actual sense, you're not helping anybody. So go and sit down. All right, thank you so much. And that is a profound truth you just shared. So I'll go to Dr. Akitemi to actually pick up from where you stopped, because you made a very valid point about knowing what people need, and not from your own point of view, but from their point of view. And Dr. Mr. Akintunde would be in a better position to speak to this, because he clearly has quite a number of solutions for Nigeria. So if you campaign to be the president of Nigeria, I will vote for you.
I will vote for him.
I will vote for you. So we are looking at a looking ahead sort of conversation to see that, based on what Doctor has said, what would you say are the things that are most needed? So maybe you want to itemize them or recap some of the solutions that you reeled out, most needed to actually most needed to make Go Green by Design a reality, and what we should do going forward, while not allowing the challenges or what the current reality is. Over to you, sir.
So, Dr. Eyitemi, from the very minute I met her and her husband, I told them that I'm very, very shocked that I've met people that were very, very similar. So similar. Remember I said that, because, Dr. Eyitemi and her husband are people that I don't need to say anything twice. They understand me. And it's very rare in this country. Very, very rare. What Dr. Eyitemi said last year at the design week thing, the Minister of Creative Economy was in the crowd. So and I was one of the speakers. So the moderator said, the minister is in the crowd. Tell her what you need. Are you listening? Tell her what you need to be able to do more of the kind of work you are doing. I said, I won't ask her for money. She was right in front of me, just maybe about 3 meters in front of me, very close. I was staring at the minister in the eye. I said, what I would like is a situation where, listen to this, where I want to get our young people into those workshops that Awolowo gave us across the Southwest. That wherever you turn in Lagos, Ilupeju Industrial Estate, Ogba Industrial Estate, Ikeja Industrial Estate, industrial estates all over the place. Listen, oh, and I can't get a workshop to work in. The nearest workshop after 4 years is at Agege. I live at Eyitemi. So I'm not asking you for anything. And we paid for some workshops. They just chopped our money. Millions of naira chopped our money. Go to talk to one secretary, another guy of the place, you know. So all we need are those workshops. And currently, those workshops are either occupied by the church, you know, or they're even empty. They're derelict, you know, and just close them, you know, area boys don't even live there, you know. So when the minister came to speak, I have the video, she was speaking to me directly. She was calling my name, that we're going to talk, that they're even going to do more than what I said. As soon as she finished speaking, there was another panel. There was one guy there, professor of economics. They asked the guy a question. He said, no, he just wants to answer me. This professor of economics said that I'm saying that I'm not open-minded. That these days they don't make anything in workshop. Professor of economics, these days they do all the work on
Sorry for the
online. That you go and be open-minded, go and find out I'm going to make cars online.
No. That's weird.
I have witnesses. You know, it was a full crowd. Listen, I will tell you the guy's name in private. He said that I'm saying that churches have taken that. Don't I know that church today is not religion anymore? That church today is tourism and entertainment. He said it, Bogo. And that I want to be training the youth. That if I train all the youth, where are they going to get dogs when they need dogs? What is called dogs? Where are they going to get house girls? He said it in the crowd.
Is this playing?
His son was seated beside me. So somebody beside me said, isn't that the guy's son? Why doesn't he use the son for dog? So you know what Dr. Eyitemi said? It's very true. You want to give them water, they want to be knocking their wives. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is where education comes in. It is not a sudden giving people water. It's an ecosystem of actually making people realize the need for pipe-borne water. Do you understand? And making people realize the need of knowing how to schedule your time so you can be knocking your wife. Do you understand? Maybe when the kids are at school or when they are asleep. Do you understand? Because at least in other countries, they are knocking their wives down and they have good water, they have light. Isn't the general trope here that the reason why there is no NEPA is because people are selling generators? And the names though, Abi? So you can see the issue. And our biggest problem here in this country is self-sustainability. That's the biggest single problem. Even when a black man leaves Nigeria, he thinks he's going to go and get a job abroad. Can you imagine? And the whole of abroad are looking to get away from jobs, Abi. They're getting into enterprise, Abi. Isn't that why they make all these information tools so that they don't need to be employing people? Maybe we're the ones that say we want to be paid for reparations. They say, hell no. What did Trump do? Trump actually, his plan was to get rid of all the immigrants, the illegal immigrants, and replace them with robots from Elon Musk's robots. Do you understand what I'm saying? Can I stop here or I should continue?
Yeah, maybe you could just land and summarize because we are rounding off the conversation. So maybe you could just land and give your parting shots holistically on the theme of the conversation.
My landing and parting shot doesn't need to be more than the fact that we have to create a new culture of R&D thinking. Do you get my point? Across the board. R&D thinking for self-sustainability. I've landed.
Thank you.
I don't need to say too much. Abi?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Have I said it well?
Sir, you've said it better than well. You said it so well. You could not have landed better. If I was going to give any parting shot to, it would still be on teaching people to do things on their own, to build research capacity. That's my own gospel that I preach every day, is what I do as co-founder of Research Ready Hub, and even with my 9 to 5 with my boss. What I'm really doing at the heart of it is building and deploying research capacity, because once you have research skills, is an umbrella set of skills. With research skills, you can convert research skills into other skills that can help you get big things done. So it's like once you get research skills, then you are setting off a chain of events, a chain of multiplier events that can help you arrive at big things that you could not have even thought that you will be able to arrive at. And it just still boils down to the education conversation. So research capacity should be second nature to every African. That's the story I've been preaching since 2018. So, sir, you could not have landed better. You have landed for two of us.
Thank you so much. And this, I must say, has been an enlightening conversation. And um, as much as we also sometimes get frustrated as speakers or as people who are advocating for the right things to be done, sometimes you feel like some of these messages go on deaf ears. But I strongly believe that this conversation will actually yield light, and that people would listen, imbibe some of the lessons and some of the things you've championed on this call, and we'll begin to actually see those changes that we really desire. I must say thank you. Thank you for giving yourself very, very freely and awesomely. It was such an interesting conversation. So I'll just yield the floor to Tenny, who would know how to say a proper thank you. Then we can wrap it on the call. Well done.
Yes, yes. Thank you all so much. Omotayo, thank you. You've done a great job as usual. Thank you so much, our architect. All the things you said today, I couldn't even agree less, and I knew that having you and Dr. Eyitemi on the call was going to be it was going to be something cataclysmic, and we aren't disappointed at all. I want to say thank you so much for yielding and for giving us of your time so generously. Dr. Eyitemi, you've been awesome. I like the analogies you cited about China. I was probably looking at a documentary about them sometime back, and apparently how some collective or some of them decided that, look, we're going to change the narrative, and they had a strategy. They were intentional. That's something that I see. I think that this whole story, the entire things that we're looking at, I think there's a top-down approach to it and there's a down-up approach to it. One of the things I think Dr. Itemi really emphasized on was the top-down approach, and the fact that you also need to try to understand or make change from the inside out. You can't, these are some of my takeaways anyway. You can't begin to just come to a place and say, you want to make change. You really might have good intentions, but your good intentions, quote unquote, might be wrongly perceived. So you really have to work with the actors to really begin to understand how they think, what their priorities are, and how you can marry and align priorities. So everybody, another thing that's really stood out for me today is that people need to have a shared vision. Maybe not a shared vision first. You, as at the individual level, everyone needs to have a picture, a clear picture of what their dream Nigeria should be. And that's one of the things I equally advocate. Like, what is I even go as far as saying Africa, but let's bring it home first. What is the Nigeria you see? And how do you see yourself as a part of the nation? And then if you begin to ask those questions, you can begin to trickle it down to, okay, so what will my role be? What are the real problems really? And what role do I want to be at the individual level? Then you might start crafting a vision for yourself, your household, and then you can cascade, and then, like that. You can find people who have like intentions, co-believers, and then we are working towards some bright goals and visions for the nation. So really, I'm still going to go back and really, really listen to this over and over again, even before we ate. I want to say a huge thank you that this has been really enlightening, like we promised. We promised and you both delivered. Thank you so much. And to our able Director of Media and Public Relations, Mathias, with a lot of professionalism, put everything in order. Thank you so much for the edge that you bring to these conversations. So that'll be all for now on this edition, which I think is the finale for the year. And I think it's a good way to also cap it up. And I think that the questions have also thrown some light on policy and governance, on community and culture. I really wish we had some other questions here. Yeah, but I think Dr. Eyitemi's analogy has kind of covered that ecosystems and innovation, and then the part of leadership. This has been wowza. So thank you so much. Till we have these conversations again, I look forward to all that people would make do with. We will run with some of this personally, and I believe that the ecosystem will be a lot more better for it. And that'll be all for now. Thank you so much, and that'll be all for
Thank you so much, Tenny, for putting this together. All right, so we can call it a wrap. Do enjoy the rest of the weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.